Hi, I'm Linda Taps of Pacific.ca. After many months of planning, a group of physicians and members of the Western Washington Physicians for Social Responsibility and other human rights activists were able to get permission from the Israeli military to cross from Israel into Gaza. There were 12 of them. 6 were physicians to work alongside their colleagues, helping to treat the patients in the Gaza hospitals. 5 others of the delegation, a pastor, an attorney, and 3 human rights professionals, talked with the families and listened to people throughout the area to assess the effects of the suffering on the citizens due to the war and ongoing siege imposed upon Gaza. The 12th person, a grief counselor, Jerry Haynes, was the group's organizer. I caught up with Jerry Haynes and some of the others as they departed from the Seattle airport.
We're going to Gaza this week. Hopefully we'll be able to enter. We have received permission from the Israeli military to enter Gaza so that we can go in and offer collegial support to other professionals, to physicians, and to counselors. If you haven't been in Gaza or you haven't read about Gaza, it's probably important to know that over 1 million people, well over 1 million people, live under sort of a prison atmosphere, in that they are not able to come or go from their environment at the border between Gaza and Israel with any freedom at all. The amount of food that comes in, the amount of medical supplies that come in are all regulated by Israel. And the problem with water in Gaza is that the aquifer is being salinized by overuse. So there are many, many problems with the growth of food and with commerce, with the ability to work. And Gaza was for a long, long time under direct occupation, but now is under virtual occupation at its borders.
We are headed to Gaza to meet with the Gaza Community Mental Health Program, which was founded by our good friend Dr. Iyad Siraj, who is a child psychiatrist trained in Britain, Palestinian, who we first met in 1993 when we first went to Gaza, and were introduced to Iyad as hopefully the president of the new Palestinian state. It's been a long time since then, but Iyad has been to Seattle a couple of times, and we've been to Gaza 3 prior times, and we're going back this time, again in solidarity with what he is attempting to do through his community mental health program. They have established, I believe, 13 satellite clinics around Gaza, which has something between 1.5 and 2 million people there. So we're going in support of what they're trying to do and bringing some sense of mental health support for a highly traumatized population there.
I'm an oral and maxillofacial surgeon, and I'm going to Gaza in hopes that I can help out the surgeons that are already there in dealing with some of the facial trauma that was incurred during the last Israeli offensive this winter. And also going there to show some solidarity with the Palestinian people, that there are Americans that are sympathetic to their cause and hoping that they will endure and find peace.
Hi, I am Laura Hart. I'm a urologist, and this will be my second visit to Gaza, and the first in which I'll have the opportunity to be able to actually practice my trade, and I'm really thrilled to think that I'll be able to make a contribution in serving the people of Gaza, and I'm honored to be working with all these other people. It's really an unusual trip since there's such diversity of people going and to provide health care.
I'm going to try to provide collegial support. I think that it must be terribly debilitating and spiritually awful to be in a position where you want to be a physician for a population, and the population itself is devastated by the inability to have food and medicines and work, and so these people are struggling to live, and the physicians are struggling to help them. So I'm going to try to work for several days alongside the doctors in Gaza to try to help them with whatever I can in taking care of patients, but perhaps equally important just to help them know that other people in the world are looking to them and trying to support them.
I'm going for a slightly different reason. Most of this delegation is medical. I'm a lawyer, and I'm kind of hooking on because I'm involved in Israel and Palestinian peace efforts for some time, and they haven't been too productive. And a lot of people have told me that you can't learn about the people from the distance between us. They said, go there, talk to the people, learn about the people, and then maybe you'll have a little bit better understanding of why things are what they are.
As folks probably know, Gaza is currently locked in by the Israelis. It is surrounded by a fence, and there are only two entrances, one controlled by Israel and one by Egypt, both of which are essentially under Israeli control. And the problem has been that the long-standing conflict, the conflict that arises out of the racist, colonialist, great game empire building of the 19th century, well into the 20th century, has led to a horrendously fractured Middle East. We have an Israeli population escaping the pogroms of Russia and the Holocaust of Europe, populating one side of what's now a 30-foot fence. And the Palestinian Arab population that was in Palestine at the time that the British and others, in dividing up the Middle East, decided that that was where the Zionist Israeli Jewish homeland would be. And as a consequence, we have two hugely traumatized populations trying to live side by side with each other. And what's happened in the last 20 years that we've been going is that the extremists on both sides have been essentially bombing the middle ground for peace talks, either rockets coming out of Gaza or bus bombs by Palestinian martyrs or terrorists, or assassinations by Israelis, rocket assassinations, or other kinds of just locking down the West Bank with its 600 checkpoints and so on. So we have a situation which is it's a human tragedy, and we are going to witness to that on both sides of the wall that the Israelis have been building to try to secure for themselves some peace at the expense at this point of the Palestinian population. So hopefully we'll be there to provide some meaningful support medically and emotionally, and hopefully also to just learn what's the current situation there and what are things that we can continue to do to advocate for some eventual resolution of this horrible ongoing conflict.